I'm Joseph Craven from 40 Minutes of Hell with a flash review of the NBA Live 18 demo. Like and subscribe for more videos like this one coming very soon. For pretty much the entire 2000s, 2K has slowly established itself as the leader in NBA simulation video games. EA is hoping to answer the call this year with an NBA Live that lives up to the level of competition that 2K has set. Some of the recent additions have floundered, they took some years off. Could this be the year that NBA Live returns to the top of the heap? Well, as you can immediately tell by looking at gameplay footage, it is a very pretty game. They have definitely put in a lot of work, and it shows in trying to make the game look very nice. The graphics are what you would find on TV. They have a partnership with ESPN, so they are mimicking the ESPN graphics there. The player models are still a little plastic looking at times, but I mean, it's a video game, you gotta work with what you're given, I guess. But the lighting is phenomenal, as you can see in player introductions before the game. Along with that, a nice added touch is the fact that halftime is done like an ESPN broadcast, with the Sports Center, news squares sort of lineup going on there, which I think is a very neat touch that matches a lot of what 2K has been able to do with their presentation for the last several years. Of course, if 2K is the benchmark for NBA games right now, then NBA Live has a lot to catch up with, because 2K has really established itself in the details. Game modes are very intricate. Production value is outstanding. You can really tell that they put thought into the commentary, having rotating commentary teams, having different graphics packages during different games, trying to make it feel a little bit more like you're watching an NBA season unfold. EA is clearly trying to match that here, and it honestly seems like they have done a good job. They're putting in work, the work is showing. The big question in all of this is whether or not the game modes will live up to the hype. EA is clearly very excited about their career mode. That's what they're really pushing in this demo, so let's take a look at it. NBA Live 18 is clearly trying to bank on the success of having a detailed and entertaining career mode. You create a player, you guide him through his career, they have an entire story behind it, and they're hoping that this is enticing enough to people to lure them away from 2K, when the career mode in 2K for the past few years has been fairly lackluster. I decided to create a player in my image, Jackhammer Craven, and see what happens. One thing EA has done over the years is have Game Face, where you can scan your face and it attempts to make a digital reconstruction. You could do it on the demo. I downloaded the app and I attempted it myself. You gotta make sure you have great lighting in order for it to register your face. But it does work. I mean, look at it. It perfectly captured my really angry facial expression. I guess I was mad at the camera or something. This was like my 20th attempt at trying to scan my face, so that might be why I looked so perturbed. But it takes this image and then digitizes it and turns it into, I don't know, this monster right here. I mean, it's not terrible. It did capture my slightly off-center jaw, it looks like, but I mean, I don't know. You gotta set the bar low, I guess, when you're trying to scan your face on your phone and put it onto your PlayStation. We're living in a world where we are not impressed by this sort of thing as much as we probably should be. This is still a really cool feature. Comes up with some pretty comical results at times, but all in all, not terrible. I did upgrade my hair though, because I really think I'd look a lot better with a giant fro. What do you guys think? Once you've created an absolutely gorgeous likeness of yourself in the game, you decide what type of player they are. You choose between 3 general archetypes: guard, wing, big man, and each of those have different subtypes. You've got these general frames that you can choose from that will dictate the type of player you create. After that, you jump into the story. It's very dramatic. It's got these sweet live action shots going on. It's got a lot of James Harden, which is never a bad thing. But what is most interesting about this is that they went ahead, they shot their shot. They got Stephen A. and Max Kellerman to be in the game. And no, we're not talking about digital, creepy-looking Stephen A. and Max Kellerman like the Shaquille O'Neal and Ernie Johnson in 2K. No. This is live action. It's on the set of First Take. They've got it looking like an episode of First Take. The only difference is they're not screaming in each other's faces about totally asinine opinions that they both have. This right here is either a really cool feature or a terrible feature, mostly depending on how you feel about First Take as a show. This already, as far as career modes goes, is an improvement over what 2K has been producing. The fact that they are trying to treat this more like it's being broadcast on ESPN and you just happen to be a part of it, maybe it's not dynamic, but it's cleaner, it's more efficient, it feels a little bit more real at first. There's some positives to this. You'll notice there's also an RPG element to what's going on here. You make decisions, you respond in certain ways to text messages from your friends, from people involved in your life, and depending on your choices, you end up earning different rewards. You get points that you can then use to upgrade your player, or you get loot boxes that you can open up and find a new pair of shorts. It's kind of similar to the item system in Injustice 2 if you played that. So if you're into the RPG-esque elements of it, that's a neat touch. It makes the career mode a little bit better off than just, here's a key game to play, and here's some VC that you can then turn into skills. You can tell the strategy that EA Sports is going for here. We found maybe the one weakness of 2K, and we're going to jump after it and try to do it significantly better and hope that people appreciate that. Once you make a decision, you're placed into street ball, I guess trying to get back in shape, trying to reestablish your credentials that you are worthy of being in the NBA. So then it's great because it puts you into a Rucker Park matchup, legendary Rucker Park, when you've got teammates like, well, that's Vince Carter over there, that's pretty cool, and Joakim Noah? All right, okay. And the other team has, what, David Lee? Was that David Lee? So if you can suspend your belief for just a little bit and try to teach yourself that David Lee would absolutely go and play at Rucker Park in a 5-on-5 contest, then yeah, we could roll with this scenario. It's fine. It's fine. Again, the shots of actual real life footage is a nice touch. It is kind of reminiscent of the introductions to the parks that you would see in the NBA Street series that I was a huge fan of. So the visuals are very nice and the presentation is clean, flashy. It draws you in. What about the actual gameplay? What about the important part of the game? Is it something that you're actually going to enjoy grabbing a controller and attempting to play? And that's where things fall apart just a little bit. Passing in particular feels very sluggish in this game. The game gives you 3 different buttons with 3 different passes assigned to them. X is your standard pass, circle is a bounce pass, and triangle is a lob. Passing is clunky. You press a button, and then after a slight delay, your guy actually passes the ball. That was what was most notable to me. Secondly, behind that, one of the flaws here is that movement tends to be a little bit more like players are gliding around or sliding on ice. Sports games have evolved a lot in recent memory, really getting away from the days in which pre-programmed player animations determined how players moved across a playing field. NBA Live 18 feels a little bit more like that. Your player glides a little bit. It doesn't really feel like they step around, which is a shame. The gameplay still needs work to catch up with how nice the game looks and how nice the presentation is. So what's the final verdict? Well, the verdict is it's not as refined a gameplay experience as what you already get with NBA 2K from 2K Sports. However, this career mode is incredibly interesting. The RPG type elements of it are really what drew me in. The question is whether this will be enough of a draw to warrant picking the game up. Is this the year that NBA Live jumps back to the top of the NBA simulation heap? Probably not. But this is definitely leaps and bounds better than NBA Live has been in recent memory. If you're looking for a more dynamic career mode than what 2K has presented, NBA Live 18 might just be the game for you. If you played the demo, comment below and let me know what you think about the game so far. Stay tuned to the channel here. We'll have some NBA Live 2K simulations being put up on the channel very soon. Be sure to like and subscribe. Comment with anything that you would like to see us talk about as the season is just around the corner. I'm Joseph Craven and you've been watching 40 Minutes of Hell.